When I was learning Demonology Warlock, there were a lot of things that I had to unlearn or correct in my gameplay. Some of them were bad habits picked up from playing other classes, and others were behaviors that seem intuitive, but are actually suboptimal. Some of these habits are universal to caster classes, but I'll talk about them in the context of Demolock. This video isn't to put anyone down or tell anyone that they're bad, but just to inform you about some things to watch out for. I know I fell into some of these traps, and I still do some of these things. This video is also a lot more technical than my previous Demolock guide. If you're looking for something more beginner friendly, check out my first video. Here are 5 things that Demolocks do wrong. Number 1, don't cancel Shadow Bolts. Demolock is a spec all about arithmetic. If you're at 5 soul shards, casting a 3 shard hand of Gul'dan, that'll put you at 2. The logical step is to cast Shadow Bolt up to 3. But if you're in the middle of the Shadow Bolt and get a refunded Soul Shard or a Demonic Core proc, your instinct might be to cancel the Shadow Bolt and cast a different spell. Don't do that. If you cancel a Shadow Bolt cast, you rob yourself of a lot of small but important resources. You rob yourself of the time it took to cast the partial Shadow Bolt, and more importantly, you rob yourself of a Soul Shard. Let the cast finish before you use your proc. ABC, always be casting. By the transitive rule, this can also be DSC, don't stop casting. When you start a spell, commit to it. Number 2, don't hold your cooldowns. Sometimes you want to cast Demonic Tyrant, but Dreadstalkers has 8 seconds left and Vile Fiend has 12, and there's definitely a little voice in your brain saying that's not that long, wait it out. But the time spent waiting plus the time spent casting is a long time to wait to drop your best cooldown. Odds are you have a good number of imps that'll empower your Tyrant just a fine amount, a really good amount. Also, don't forget that Tyrant refills your soul shards. It sort of kickstarts your engine and keeps you going through your rotation. Drop the big boy on cooldown. However, there's a caveat. There's one situation where you don't want to press that button, and it's a situation that you should not get yourself into. And that brings me to number 3. Don't implosion before Tyrant. I still do this. And every time I do, I want to kick myself. If you see Tyrant coming up, you should be holding your imps so that they're alive to empower your Tyrant. Even if they're useless, they're not casting Fell Firebolt, they might as well be retired from dealing damage. Don't chuck them. Tyrant gives you soul shards back anyway. There's no need to implosion to fish for demonic core procs. Tyrant even extends your minions and makes them start casting again, which lets you save up for an even bigger implosion later. This is less something that you would do on purpose and more a point of situational awareness. Keep an eye on your cooldown and keep your imps around for it. Number 4, and this might seem so simple, but man, I've talked to a lot of Warlocks that struggle with this, and I do too. Notice if your pet dies. I'm literally writing a weak aura for this as we speak. My pet has a 1-minute DPS cooldown. Lord knows how many times I've pressed it just to find my pet is dead. That means that sometime in the last minute, my pet died, and my DPS has been halved for that amount of time. Sometimes it's hard to notice because the little pet portrait is so tiny and hidden off in the corner of the screen. I would recommend moving it, changing it, or doing like I'm doing and setting up a weak aura that screams at you if you don't have a pet. Demolock loses a whole lot of damage if their primary demon is AFK. And like I said, much like the last point, this is something I still deal with. Let's work on that together. And number 5, again, this might seem really obvious, but some people just don't know it. Don't forget you have a battle res. When I first started playing Demolock, this was huge news to me. Did you know you can cast Soulstone on a target that's already dead and resurrect them in the middle of battle? When Shadowlands first came out, I had no idea. I vaguely remember this being a talent or something. It existed, it was already in the game. But the fact that it was a baseline ability was a huge surprise to me until someone yelled at me to use it for the first time. I thought, oh, that's nifty. Sorry, I had no idea. If your healer or tank go down, don't throw in this howl and figure it's doomed. Don't look around for the nearest druid or death knight. Insult the balance of life and death yourself and just play God. Hit him with the B-res. I know these are varying levels of complexity, but these are definitely a few things that I was messing up when I first started playing Demonology. And some of them I still mess up. I still get them wrong. Keep an eye out for these little lapses in your gameplay and bring a stronger suite of skills to your dungeons and raids. You'll be more consistent, you'll deal more damage, and you'll just find yourself honestly just having a better time. If you don't mess these things up and you see those numbers pumping, like, you're just gonna have more fun. Just look out for this. Thanks so much for listening. I know this is quick, but I prefer quick little videos. Who wants to sit through a 10-minute video? I'm not gonna fill it with fluff and filler. Thanks again for watching. This is Calkert on Arathor. Make sure you leave a like, one quick click, sub maybe if you're interested in Demonology content, and find me live on twitch.tv/BeRightBackCoffee. I can answer questions, show you some gameplay, all that good stuff. Again, thanks for hanging out. Peace out. Peace and love to everyone.